Good morning, Coastal Bend. This is meteorologist Carly Smith. We are live now. The current time is 8:41 a.m. and there are two flash flood warnings in play. They're really the same. Both about 10:15 a.m. is the extension of this flash flood warning. So between now and 10:15 a.m., it is going to be hazardous across areas of southern Nueces County, south of Driscoll, so through Bishop is included in the flash flood warning. Additionally, we are looking at the area around Baffin Bay. So one of the reasons that the National Weather Service did issue this flash flood warning is because there are reports of the RV parks around Baffin Bay that are dealing with flooding. So flooding can happen quickly in instances like this where we have just seen a lot of rainfall. And unfortunately, we are going to continue to see a lot of rainfall. But the big thing that I am live right now to get the information out about is the flash flood warning is until 10:15. So I may come back on periodically and do some live updates through the morning. But again, if you know anyone in this area between Baffin Bay, Bishop, and also areas of Ricardo, this is where we have our flash flood warning in play until 10:15. How much rain is this area seeing? Well, up to 6 inches of rain, and an additional 1 to 3 inches of rain will be possible over the next 2 hours. So 1.7 inches of rain closer to Kingsville, but you can see Bishop there between Driscoll and Kingsville is seeing some of the blues and the pinks showing up, or the purples showing up rather. And so that does indicate higher rainfall totals. We are seeing around 6 inches through Baffin Bay, especially there on the coast on the north side of Baffin Bay, but really throughout Baffin Bay has been the most rainfall today, and that is where the flooding risk is going to be greatest, as well as through the Chapman Ranch area. So I don't remember the name of the road off the top of my head, but that road that takes you from Crosstown pretty much to Bishop, that is one of the roads that could have some flooding, especially since 5.6 inches of rainfall has fallen in that area. So why are we seeing this? So there's essentially a mesoscale low. So that's a very small scale area of low pressure that is kind of developed. You can see the rotation around the low. That's not like rotation in terms of a tornado or a hurricane or things like that, but it is a mesoscale vortex that is showing up on radar. You can see the rain going north on one side and south a bit on the Kingsville side. So where it's coming up across the Gulf, that's coming from the south and moving north, and then it wraps around that weak area of low pressure, and right in the center is where we have seen some of the highest rainfall totals. Now, it does look like the rain is shifting a little bit further south, areas into Kennedy County and across Padre Island National Seashore. That's one of the most dangerous locations to be this morning. So if you know anyone camping in that area, I would suggest driving north if you can, because conditions are only going to get worse from here on out for Padre Island National Seashore. Here's a look now at the big picture where you see more rain just coming up. So we're seeing new convection further south. That's going to push north, and that's going to continue to keep this area in northern Kennedy County and across pretty much all of Claiborne County and southern Nueces County. Very soggy over the next, for sure, 2 hours, possibly 3 to 4 hours. So there's not a lot of motion that's going to make this low move one way or another. Essentially, in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we have those two areas of high pressure that are creating winds that are going like this right over our area, and we've gotten a low that is formed in between that wind shear that has allowed to help enhance our rainfall this morning. Right now, here's a view outside looking, this is west toward the sunrise, and so from the Lex camera. So it still looks stormy, but there are some breaks in the clouds, right? So areas that don't see rain will make it into the 90s. Areas that are seeing the rain may stay in the 80s today. So here's Futurecast. We saw the model versus the current versus the model, very similar right now as it continues to try to initiate and change and fluctuate based on our current storminess. But what you see here is going to be noon, still pretty stormy. That low, that meso low, may shift a little south and a little offshore. You see a lot more action offshore, but right along the coast is where we're going to be keeping an eye on thunderstorm activity through the morning. And then notice a break, but more spotty activity could be with us overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. So keep the rain gear handy. We have small areas that are going to see high impact. So the area with the flash flood warning, Baffin Bay, that is that area with the flash flood warning. Small area, high impact. It's going to stay unsettled, especially near the coast. So we could wind up with these spotty areas that have rainfall totals possibly over 6 inches at times. So here is another look at the radar. Again, the flash flood warning is until 10:15. So until 10:15 a.m. we do have a flash flood warning for areas from Baffin Bay up toward Driscoll and down toward Ricardo. Kingsville, the city of Kingsville, technically not in this warning. You've missed a lot of that. But yeah, Tom on X said add nitrates to the rain. Yeah, we have a lot of electricity, so some nitrogen within the clouds as well. And so just to note, it does help with greener grass, but that's besides the point. We're really focusing on the flooding potential. It does look like a little bit more stratiform rain now in the area with the flash flood warning, but it is still raining and there is still high rainfall totals to discuss. So let's see what other graphics I have in line for us on this Monday. It is June 16th and we do have a flash flood warning. So Futurecast, maybe. I just hit a bunch of buttons, so we'll see how things play out. Okay, this is the big picture, right? So we have an area of high pressure that's over the western U.S. That's creating winds more out of the north, and the area of high pressure over the Florida area is creating winds more out of the south. And so where those meet, that's where we've gotten a trough, or essentially our vortex, to form in that area of high storm energy. Additionally, heading into Tuesday, we are looking a little drier. If we see one of these kind of breakout weather systems form, it looks like it may be more so in the Gulf on Tuesday and Wednesday. But watch what happens as we head into Thursday and Friday. This is tropical moisture that comes up thanks to an inverted low that forms in between those two areas of high pressure. And so yeah, Thursday and Friday, we're looking at some higher end rain as well. This rain may be able to make it into our watershed, but unfortunately the rain right now is not falling in the places we would want it to be to impact our watershed. So I'm going to go back and find a radar imagery that shows off the flood warning, and then I'll look at any questions. If you know anyone living in the area or you have any flooding reports to report, if you have been driving and you said, Carly, this road was so hazardous, I barely made it to my destination, let us know what road that is now that you've made it safely to your destination, and we could get the word out about where the worst of this rain is. But right now, we are looking at 5, 6, 7 inches of rain in this area that's under the flash flood warning. This is southern Nueces County, so it does include Bishop as well as Ricardo in Claiborne County and all of the Baffin Bay area. That is where a flash flood warning is in play. And this is where we are seeing high-end rainfall amounts, which is creating flooding and ponding that can make travel dangerous, but also impact your home and your property. So I am a little sick, Adrian. I actually am. So yeah, still working, still trying to keep everyone safe. We are here and we are sick. So you can't tell. But yeah. Anyway, I hope everyone stays safe. We are about to go do a live cut-in on Good Morning America coming up in just about 6 minutes, so you can watch over on 3 News for another update. If this is warranted, if I start getting more reports, in fact, we've just got a new flood advisory issued for Kennedy County, which is mostly the King Ranch area, but Kennedy County now under a flood advisory. I'm sure that's until at least 10 a.m. for all of the rain that they have seen. This is where the rain's going to stay targeted for quite some time. So just the abundance of rainfall is going to make flooding very possible. And just the fact that we don't have creeks and streams that are going to get this water out of the way quickly. So yeah. Good morning, Lydia. I hope everyone stays safe. try to avoid these areas. If you're going north, you're great. You can drive to San Antonio easily. We don't have much rain in our watershed right now. We've got a lot of rain with flooding potential anywhere south on Highway 77. I would just avoid driving that way if you can this morning. We should see some improvements into the afternoon, but overall the coastline does stay very unsettled the next couple of days. This is going to be it for this current live update. Again, as I get new information, I will come back on with live updates. You can watch our streaming platforms, Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV. You download the 3 News Plus app on those app stores, and it's totally free. You can have it as one of your apps right next to Hulu or Netflix or whatever your streaming preference is. And you can also click on our app, and we'll have updates there on the weather as well. You can watch rebroadcast of First Edition. But yeah, this is the latest. And as far as I know, no road closures yet. But when I start to get those in, we will come back live on here. But I'm going to regroup, and we'll start a new one later on this morning. Thank you so much for watching. This is going to be it for the current live stream.